Welcome to This Explainer. Look, we are about to solve one of life's truly universal annoyances. We're breaking down exactly how to navigate the South Dakota Department of Public Safety's online scheduling system. If you want to optimize your time, skip the headache, and get back to your life, you're in the exact right place.
Let's just dive right into it. Frustrated by those endless lines at the DMV? Discover the simple steps to secure your appointment online in South Dakota today. Because honestly, nobody likes spending their entire afternoon sitting in a crowded, stuffy waiting room. But thanks to the South Dakota DPS online portal, you can entirely take control of your time. By just scheduling your visit in advance from your phone or computer, you guarantee your spot and bypass those walk-in queues altogether. It is literally an absolute necessity if you want to make this whole process smooth and efficient.
To give you some practical value you can use right away, we've broken this explainer down into 4 clear sections: preparation, the 6-step booking guide, some insider scheduling tips, and finally, special cases. Let's get going.
Kicking things off with Section 1, preparation. Before you even think about opening your laptop to book that appointment, you've got to ensure your paperwork is perfectly organized. Because, there is literally nothing worse than securing a prime appointment time only to get turned away at the door just because you forgot a single piece of paper. So, the crucial point here is that you absolutely must arrive prepared. For standard renewals, you have to bring 2 separate documents proving your physical residential address. We're talking things like a W-2, a 1099, a recent pay stub, or a utility bill. Now, if you're a brand new applicant, or maybe you're transferring your license from out of state, you've got to bring original, state-certified proof of lawful status. This usually means a valid U.S. passport or a state-certified birth certificate. And this is vital. Photocopies or hospital-issued birth certificates simply will not cut it. Don't risk a rejected application over a flimsy photocopy.
Now, if we're talking about teen drivers getting ready for their road test, well, there are a few extra hurdles to clear before booking. They need a valid, unexpired South Dakota instruction permit, a totally clean driving record during their permit period, and a parent or guardian actually present to sign the consent form. But the math here for our teen drivers is really interesting. Taking an approved driver's education course effectively cuts your mandatory permit holding period exactly in half. It drops it from a lengthy 180 days all the way down to just 90 days, a real game changer. Moving right along to Section 2, the 6-step booking guide. With your documents perfectly prepped and in hand, let's get to the main event. We're going to navigate the state's centralized digital infrastructure to actually lock in your time slot on the official South Dakota DMV website. So the South Dakota appointment system follows a strict, highly organized 6-step sequence. Step 1 is portal initiation. Basically, you just navigate to the official site and launch the module. Step 2 is service categorization, which is where you select the exact reason for your visit. And this step is actually critical because the database automatically filters your available appointment times based on how long that specific transaction usually takes. Then comes Step 3, agreeing to the legal consent terms. Step 4 brings up a dynamic calendar for location and time selection based on regional capacity. Step 5 requires your identity and contact input. And finally, Step 6 gives you your confirmation and receipt. That gives you a unique automated confirmation number that you're definitely going to need if you ever have to modify or cancel your booking. Here's a quick pro tip that'll save you some serious frustration. During Step 5, that identity and contact input phase we just mentioned, the system actually queries your basic profile data. So if you're specifically booking a driving test appointment, the system is going to prompt you for your permit number. Having your instruction permit sitting right next to your keyboard before you start the process will save you a frantic scramble while that booking clock is ticking down. All right, Section 3, Insider Scheduling Tips. Knowing how to book is great, sure, but knowing exactly when to book, that's just as important. Because appointment slots at select, high-traffic stations like Aberdeen, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown, well, they can book out several weeks in advance. These timeframes brilliantly illustrate how you can outsmart the crowds, even if you're just planning to walk in or you're looking for a quieter appointment time. Just by avoiding the busiest times, we're talking Mondays, Fridays, lunch hours, and the days directly surrounding major holidays, you drastically reduce your friction at the exam station. So aim for the middle of the week, the middle of the day, and the middle of the month. Do that, and you're setting yourself up for the smoothest possible experience. And keep this in mind. Before you even bother scheduling a physical visit, you should really check if you're eligible for online or mail-in renewal. I mean, if you renewed your unexpired license in person 5 years ago, you might be able to do this entire thing from your couch. Just remember, processing takes about 4 to 6 weeks. So if your birthday's coming up fast, do not delay. Otherwise, you might be forced to make an in-person appointment anyway just to get a temporary card in time. Section 4, Special Cases. Let's move into our final section and see how all this builds into handling unique situations. The South Dakota DPS has very specific protocols for edge cases, covering everyone from full-time travelers to walk-in applicants, and even those dealing with expired licenses. You know, South Dakota is incredibly popular with full-time travelers and RVers who use mail forwarding services like Dakota Post. If this is you, the state requires a highly specific paper trail to establish residency. You can't just use any random address. You absolutely must provide a residency affidavit with a notarized signature. You also have to show physical proof of a one-night stay in South Dakota, like a receipt from a hotel, a campground, or an RV park, and it has to be from within the last year. Plus, you need a document proving your personal mailbox address. And take note of this, fully virtual postal addresses, they will absolutely not be accepted by the state. No way. Speaking of travelers and RVers, if you're actually driving your motorhome into the state to secure that paperwork in person, you need to plan your logistics carefully. The Sioux Falls Exam Station, located at 1501 South Highline, specifically states that they cannot accommodate oversized vehicles. There is zero parking for semi-trucks, long trailers, or campers. So you'll definitely need to plan alternate parking arrangements or just choose a different exam station entirely. Another huge detail to consider is exactly where you're booking your appointment, because the location dictates what you'll actually walk out the door with. If you visit a state driver exam station, they hand you the real deal physical driver license or ID card immediately, that exact same day. However, if you book at a county or city issuance location, you're only going to receive a temporary paper license. Your permanent hard plastic card will then be mailed to you, which takes that 4 to 6 week timeline we mentioned earlier. Now, what if you've procrastinated a bit? Hey, it happens. But if your license or even just your motorcycle endorsement has been expired for more than 30 calendar days, South Dakota administrative rules trigger a mandatory testing appointment. You are legally required to pass a written knowledge test covering the rules of the road. In this specific scenario, walk-in renewals are completely off the table. You cannot bypass the system. You absolutely must use the online portal to schedule a dedicated testing appointment. So, armed with these insider strategies, step-by-step instructions, and proper document preparation, you're now fully equipped to streamline your next visit and eliminate that waiting room from your life entirely. Just a final quick professional disclaimer, procedures and requirements can occasionally change over time. Always verify this info by checking the official South Dakota DMV website for the absolute most current updates before you go to book. With the power to skip the line and bypass the waiting room literally at your fingertips, the only question left is, what are you going to do with all your saved time? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and good luck out there on the road.